Real estate investors.
Yeah.
Yo,
Episode 2.
Episode 2. Back on the podcast, guys. We got a whole crew today, huh?
Yeah.
Who we got here today?
Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Hector. I'm the newbie.
You gotta put that microphone closer to your mouth, man.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, he's the newbie.
Listen, I'm the newbie here, just
That mic is
listening
off.
in. Oh, this mic's off. Of course, for the newbie, gotta be off, man. Hey, what's up? My name is Hector. I'm the new guy here, just listening in, asking some questions. I'm happy to be part of this. A little bit about me. I worked at Deloitte as a consultant. Right now, I'm just into the stock and trading game, crypto, all that, but learning real estate. So, that's it.
Crypto, man. How's crypto going?
Crypto, man, we're about to start the next bull market, so this is the time to be accumulating right now.
So what are you investing in?
Mainly on Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is the first thing that's going to move first. Then we're going to have the altcoin season. That's where the altcoin season.
Altcoin?
Yeah, so that's when you're going to see all the projects start following, going up. But Bitcoin is first in the cycle.
Okay. Cool. Sounds good. I gotta get in. I had Bitcoins back in the day, and I fucking sold them too early. Kicking myself in the ass.
Me too.
Oh well, what are you gonna do?
Man, people was telling me about Bitcoin when Bitcoin was like
$80.
0.009 cents and shit. I'm like, what the hell is this? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I mean, even to now, I'm looking at it like, to me, it don't make sense, right? And I guess this is why we have these conversations, right? Like, I heard him talking earlier, and he was like, what is Bitcoin? How do you translate it? It's still dollar for dollar, man. So, you know what I mean? You still got to translate for a dollar for it to make sense. And then I'm not selling my fucking house for Bitcoin, and then tomorrow my shit is worth like half the price. Like, the fluctuation in that price point just ain't for me, you know what I mean? As stable as possible is where I need my money to be, you know what I mean? But either way, everybody know me, I'm Maurice, you know, here to cause some trouble.
Always.
You know?
Troublemaker.
Mel is here, so we might go at it a little bit.
It's all good. Let's rock and roll, man.
That's why I gotta
Is it gonna
separate
be
you
battling
guys.
cocks here?
Oh man, it's Cox for a reason, man. It's bigger than y'all's.
Yeah, you guys know me. This is the first time I ever met you. Your name's Hector, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, get two more.
Yeah.
Okay, so make sure.
Investor, fix and flip, new construction, buy and hold, self-storage, the whole nine. So, you know, just looking to do more stuff and meet new people. It's all relationship based, right?
Yeah, that's all it is.
Yeah. So.
The majority of it is.
Do you want this?
Sounds good. Yeah, I want to go back to this altcoins and stuff like that. I know some people are telling me about what's it called? Ripple. Yeah. So what do you know about that?
Make sure you guys hear me.
Yeah, the money.
So I think I bought about $20,000.
This went from a real estate to a crypto.
Hey, listen, man, I'm trying to diversify here. I can't find any good deals in real estate, so I'm trying to make some money somewhere. I'm not going to open up a strip club.
Put the
for
money
my
away.
wife.
So going back to the topic, yeah, Ripple, you know, was on a it's on a lawsuit with the SEC right now. So it's been on hold. It hasn't broken a new all-time high for the past more than 5 years. So it's just a matter of just seeing what's going to happen with the SEC and if it's going to win the battle or not. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah, but
What's the problem with SEC?
Well, the SEC is targeting everything right now. They want to bring crypto down.
Oh, is that what they're doing?
So,
Okay.
but Ripple was his first target, but now you have SEC going after Binance, Coinbase, and a bunch of other projects.
More than $1 trillion companies.
Now, I know I was buying some stuff on the market. I forgot which fucking platform I was using. They had what's called like CBDC or something like that. Is that a government backed?
Yeah, so there's some CBDs, some coins that are stable coins, I think is what you're trying to talk about, right?
I thought that was marijuana.
No.
CBD.
So CBDC is
CBDC, yes.
yeah. So that's central bank.
That's what it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
the central. Okay, yeah, they're working on a project,
Okay.
and apparently there's people saying that's why the government wants to kill the dollar, because all this printing and everything that's happening, they want to bring out this new digital currency into the game that will track more of what we do. So
yeah.
Well, it's control based, right? They just want to control everything.
Right. So that's why you gotta buy Bitcoin, because it's decentralized and nobody knows, you know, who Satoshi is, or nobody's controlling it. So
Right there, bro.
Satoshi's right to the right.
I wish, man. I wish.
He wouldn't be doing this podcast.
So
Yeah, right. I
all
wouldn't
these
be
mics
here
working
with
now?
Or maybe
you know
he would.
6-7 guys.
Yeah, I just
I'd be
realized
here
I'm
with
like
6-7
talking as
girls.
if this is a mic.
but I guess I got a question for you guys. Do you guys, any of you know of any deals that are happening with Bitcoin right now buying real estate? Have you guys heard of that?
No.
No. Okay. Well,
I knew there was some Lamborghini dealerships in Miami that was doing
Yeah.
They were taking big- I don't know if they are now, but they were.
You know
Maurice
what?
might know.
Nah. Shit. First of all, man, all I know is only the mega rich are like buying houses or, you know, dabbling with the Bitcoin because they got money to lose, you know what I mean? But as far as everybody else who's, you know, 500,000, 300,000, we're not doing no transaction with a coin that don't have a stable value, man.
Look, man,
Like,
if I-
it doesn't make sense. Unless currency is 100% Bitcoin, where there's no translation to Bitcoin, to US dollars, what's the point, right? I mean, what's the fucking point?
I guess it could be more globalized, right? Because now we're going into a market with after COVID, and I can work it from the Philippines for a US-based company, live like a king. Like, all right, now it's just one global currency. I think that's what the goal is, because at the end of the day, all the central banks are in each other's pockets, right? They all work together. The United States, Europe, EU, fucking UK, and all that stuff. So I think at the end of the day, it's like these guys have a meeting behind closed doors, but like, you know what? It's gonna be one global currency going forward, and that's it.
Man.
And we're all fucked. Not,
Do it.
well, basically, the United States is gonna be fucked. Probably other countries might fare out pretty well. You know,
I feel like the ledger behind maybe these coins makes sense, but the coins themselves are freaking
the
pointless,
blockchain
man.
itself.
Yeah,
I
the
understand,
coin
yeah.
itself is pointless. Like, I was a big fan of Ripple, right? I like the way Ripple integrated with like MoneyGram and all of them. You know what I mean? Transfer of money, making it easy. I liked all of that concept. I thought that made sense. But Ripple itself is a coin. You know what I mean? It went up to $3, then it dropped back down to 30 cents. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Imagine the bag holders right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bag holders out there losing money, man. I mean, that big hedge fund guy, whatever his name is, Sam, whatever
Altman?
his name is. I mean, he ain't the only one losing money. People just don't want to say they're the only one losing money, and it's like that in every industry.
Well, hell, I mean, even
You
if
know what I mean?
if-
Even real
like,
estate.
Like just for
Even
example,
fucking real estate.
yeah.
People losing money right now.
like for example, like the president of El Salvador betting pretty much on Bitcoin so heavily, and right now, like he was barely able to pay his investors back because he's so negative. I think it's like 50% below what he bought it at this point. Like, and that's even like averaging.
Yeah.
And you know, the only good thing he has going for him is his popularity because of what he's been doing with like crime in El Salvador. Like
he's
if
been
not,
cleaning house.
if he didn't do all that, then he'd be like getting kicked the fuck out.
I just watched a documentary on him. He started off like Robin Hood, but now he's like Putin.
Oh, really?
He went crazy. He went nuts.
Yeah, Putin's always. I like Putin. I don't know.
That's the only person I can think of. But like he evidently went like real crazy with
Did he?
everything.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, crime dropped dramatically, and it's
No,
funny.
absolutely.
No, but believe it or not,
It happened in New York.
Yeah, no, that's what they're saying because like a lot of people, a lot of other South American countries are looking at him, like Colombia, fucking Peru, Venezuela, because of how bad crime was. Like, so sorry, completely off topic from real estate now. But anyways, long story short was Bitcoin was, it dropped by 50%, and the country, a lot of people aren't too happy with it.
All right, but check this out. I want to make a bet. Bitcoin's gonna be over 35,000 minimum by the end of this year.
To that now.
The next cycle is gonna be
26.
the next cycle is gonna be the next halving is less than a year away. So El Salvador's gonna make all that money back. Anybody wants to bet with me?
But that's all
what are we betting?
speculatory
I
though.
don't know.
man.
That's all.
But listen, so I guess
I'll give you like 500 Dogecoin.
what I'm trying to say here, what I'm trying to say here is that okay, El Salvador is down. Look at MicroStrategy.
Yeah.
You guys know who MicroStrategy?
Yeah.
The company.
Who?
Yeah.
MicroStrategy?
No, I have no clue.
Okay.
MicroStrategy.
Fill me in.
So that's a company whose CEO is investing heavily, almost all of its balance sheet in Bitcoin. And right now they're down billions of dollars. But they have a good conviction on it.
Yeah.
So, and it's cyclical based, just like, I guess we could say the real estate cyclical based.
Yeah,
You got some people that made money last cycle. Some people are maybe slow right now that are making money. Same thing.
Yeah, but it's a big difference, right? You have a hard. There's a big difference. You have a hard asset that you could liquidate and recuperate some of the funds.
Maybe liquidate the money if they
Yeah,
buy
you
the
know what I
right
mean?
time and have enough
Right.
equity.
Or if you hold it for a long enough period of time, as you can see, the devaluation of dollar is going to make the appreciation go up. Like everybody who lost their money in 08, they just wasn't, able to move funds around. But 08, most of those houses are that point or higher, much higher now. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you have something of value. Bitcoin, you have to really tell me what the value is. And I want to know right now, what is the value of Bitcoin? How does that make our life better? And how that translate to new money.
Let me tell you.
How could that translate to
I
new
think
money?
that's a key word, new money. That's what it is.
So let me tell you this. How did we used to transact back in the day? Back in the day, when the world was starting.
Barter.
Yeah.
You know,
Barter, yeah.
then, you know, gold started coming around, copper, all these things, anything transactional, right? So now, we're moving to a digital area. Everything's going to be based on the people that want to transact in whatever we want to transact in.
Yeah.
My opinion, being Bitcoin or not, whatever it is, we're going to find something new to transact in as the AI, you know, everything just keeps going up,
Oh,
changing.
I agree.
Everything's
We're
going
going
to
to have digital currency.
So when people tell me, okay, what's the value of Bitcoin? Okay, I tell them, okay, what's the dollar of the dollar? We give the dollar value. The government gives it. Okay, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
the dollar is debt, man. And y'all got to stop looking at it like dollar is dollar. Dollar is just debt. You understand? So it's a standard form of debt that is moved around. It's like back in the days, man. So for example, how money work, right? So money is this simple. So he's a cabinet guy, right? So that's all he has, cabinet. And he's a car guy. That's all he has. But I have a fish, right? So I go to the car guy and I say, yo, you want my fish? He say he don't want my fish. You get what I'm saying?
I'm sorry,
But-
no value.
Right, no value. So, but he wants my fish, but I don't want no cabinet. I want, you know what I mean?
Got
My
a
car.
cabinet in
You
your
get what I'm
house.
saying? Yeah, well, yeah, we
paid you
can
in
talk
fish.
about that later. You know
Maurice.
what I'm saying? So how money came in is it's a debt. You know what?
Yeah.
Let me get that debt. You get what I'm saying? I will buy the cabinet from him. You get what I'm saying? And somebody who wants the fish could buy it from me later. You get what I'm saying?
You're right. I
So
think you're-
it simplified the system.
Yeah.
But there was a standard measure.
Standardized, yeah.
You know, it's flat. You know what I mean? My 2 fish didn't jump to 4 fish or jump to 1 fish after he gave me the cabinets. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
No, I get what you're saying, but I think like just back like the internet age. Back then we had web crawler, we had Yahoo, we had this. It's just the early stages of this new technology that's out there or currency that's out
Right.
there. You know what I mean? Because eventually, like you said, it's debt.
right.
Yeah, I remember the first...
government's way debt. They went through 10 million debt ceilings already. Well, how much longer how much can it sustain itself until it just blows up at this point?
Yeah, no, I just remember like when the internet was young and everything. One of the first search platforms I used consistently was Ask Jeeves.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
now where the fuck is it at
Yeah,
compared to Google?
Yeah,
but
exactly.
but that,
You know, we're
that-
big.
Chat-
Google was the
Chat
Bitcoin
GPT.
back then. Like, what's
Yeah,
Google?
but
You know what
that's
I mean?
their
And then using
adaptation,
web crawler,
right?
Yahoo, and all that stuff.
They didn't adapt correctly. Like the government is adapting. They're going digital currency. We know that,
Well,
right?
Yeah.
I think
They're-
the government wants to monopolize. That's what it is.
I mean, they haven't. They have to. That's why it's called government.
Yeah.
There will never be a decentralization of money.
Yeah, exactly.
There will
That's
never
the one
be.
thing I
There
don't
will
agree with
always
is
be a
that.
centralization of money.
right.
You know, and
Control.
there's going to
It's
be
control.
one point. Right. It has
Yeah.
to be control.
Yeah.
Decentralization of money don't make no sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Logically.
Well, that's why I mean, like when it originally came out, Bitcoin was like, what is this? If the government's not controlling it, then it's just bullshit. So now the government's going to get their hands on it. Eventually, it's going to be like, okay, and this is a new way of doing things, and then maybe that's where the value
They make
comes
the
in.
rules. That's what
Right,
it is.
so
They
but-
make the
but-
rules, and they're not gonna lose money. They make the rules
No,
of
of
the
course.
game. So why would they? You know.
But let me tell you this: they make the we're talking about the U.S. They make the rules here. But Bitcoin is global. It's worldwide.
I think it's.
There could be new powers being born somewhere else. And going to Maurice, what he was talking about, okay, there's a standard of money and all this, but that standard is what we don't want to see in cryptocurrency. Because there's no more printing of Bitcoin. There's only 21 million Bitcoin. So it's we're not gonna have problems with inflation and all those things like that.
But you need
as we're
inflation.
suffering now. But you know, it's like a new era that's coming. How is
Yeah.
it going to be in a couple of years?
We don't know.
We don't know. But I think there's value behind considering investing in
Oh, of
Bitcoin.
course, absolutely.
Well,
yeah.
Because if
You always
look
gotta keep
at
an
it,
open.
for the-
I always say you gotta keep an open mind to different.
having an open mindset.
Because if you're so close-minded, like I missed that boat.
Yeah,
you know what I
missed
mean? Because
So you need inflation, man. You need inflation.
I love
People
inflation.
want shit, right?
Yeah, same.
People want shit, and there is not. If you don't have inflation and you cap money, all the money won't be used, right? So like, there's a lot of money in the world, and there's a lot of inflation that builds equity and shit like that. Without inflation, we wouldn't have equity, man. Because if you have $100 and you divide that $100 up, who gets the rest? With inflation, if the devaluing of that, and you know, more money keep getting printed, people are able to get more and more share. So inflation has to happen in an economy. If you have a set amount of number, how is that going to work? That would never work. You get what I'm saying?
okay, but
Because people could just hold it and then that's it.
But what about
Guess what?
stock?
I
Yeah,
hold all the
money doesn't circulate.
But what about
It won't
Circulate.
circulate,
All
right?
right, so but this is the thing. Bitcoin is so early, and everybody sees it as a currency. what if it's not a currency, and what if it's a store of value? You know, scarcity, like gold. That's a different game. You see what I'm saying? So that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
We're just talking crypto as a currency.
Yeah.
But there's so much value.
The value to me is in the blockchain.
Of course,
Right.
the technology.
Right. The AI, not the AI, but implementing AI and all that stuff with the blockchain, and I think that's where it's going to be at.
There's definitely some sort of value. We're just figuring it out.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so,
I agree. I won't ever use Bitcoin as gold. I don't want Bitcoin as a gold. You know what I mean?
You can't compare.
Like,
They
you
use
can't
gold
compare.
to build stuff.
But gold should be at what
Certain
Bitcoin price
metals-
is right now.
Yeah,
That's what it should be
There's
with
certain
inflation.
metals they need to build certain things.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, computer chips.
computer chips, whatever. Platinum, catalytic converter.
Okay.
Shit like that.
That's a great analogy. But what if in the future you need Bitcoin to build some sort of AI or something that integrates into the technology that we use today in our day to day?
Yeah.
We don't know that.
But that's
It can
not-
happen.
It can happen.
Oh, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It can happen. Now, going back to El Salvador, and MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor is the CEO,
Michael Saylor, yeah.
by the way, who's down significantly. But we have Tesla owning Bitcoin. We have MicroStrategy. We have Twitter CEO back in the day, Jack Dorsey. He owns a significant amount of Bitcoin. You got a lot of BlackRock is considering owning Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So,
That's
big
why they don't have it
players.
already.
So
They already own the United States.
So I mean, there's a lot of things
If
happening.
there's opportunity to make money, companies are going in
Are
it.
going in
Even
it.
if it means to manipulate the market, say
Oh,
Dogecoin, Dogecoin, Dogecoin.
That's it. Yeah.
Just to rack it up to make them have value
Yeah, of
and
course.
liquidate. I mean, at one point, freaking Tesla was more profitable in their coin collection because they kept pumping it.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? I mean, it is what it is. You know
Boiler
what I mean?
room. It's a boiler room.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
it is what it is. They needed to make
It's
money.
called carpet pullers. They boost it up and then they pull the carpet.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? And at one point, that's how their balance sheet looked. You get what I'm saying? I mean, it's there, right? That was over 20% of their revenue.
So,
I mean, the SEC was on top of them. It was like, oh shit, you gotta watch the way you talk. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, they market manipulate. You know what I mean?
Of
He's
course,
just
all
very
day
brazen about his market manipulation.
What was the thing that Kevin Louis got busted for?
FX.
FTX.
Oh, FTX.
FTX.
Yeah. So there's another one that all these guys jumped on it. Tom Brady. Oh yeah, we're gonna pay you to advertise, and then next thing you know, it's a bunch of bullshit. You know,
Lawsuits and shit. Right?
lawsuits and all that stuff. So at the end of the day, you gotta be careful what's out there. But at the end of the day, keep your mind open because you know,
it's
you know
all
what I
about
mean?
keeping the mind open and not closing the door on opportunities like
Yeah.
Bitcoin. You know, because if you look back, if you look at the data for the past 10 years, it's performed better than the S&P 500.
Yeah.
So in terms of returns,
Yeah.
Bitcoin is sort of like me coming from New York, right? Bitcoin is sort of like the Williamsburg, the Bushwicks, the Long Island cities, where it was just a shithole.
Yeah.
With big, you know, and
Hood.
now it's $5
Yeah.
million properties,
Yeah.
buildings.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, I mean,
I didn't mean to call it a shithole.
yeah.
He gets offended.
No, I don't get offended. I don't.
No, I'm giving it a prop.
No,
It's
no,
kind of,
yeah. it is.
you gotta see the vision. You gotta see the
You
vision.
got to. It's like
Is he trying to say you're the main
It's like
third
we're
from
saying
there?
Bitcoin's coming from the trenches, and now it's it's moving up.
I mean, it's like how Hoboken was.
Oh yeah.
All right, so my question is, okay, enough Bitcoin. Where's the real estate market at?
Fucking.
Oh my
I
God.
don't even know. This market's ridiculous.
If we were better, we wouldn't be sitting here talking on this damn podcast.
All right, so let me ask you a question.
Everybody
So
got
with
their
that,
opinion on how markets is.
what
right?
makes the real estate not so lucrative right now? I guess what's making it slow right now?
Interest
Rates.
Okay, but
The supply and demand, obviously, because you know the way we spoke about it last week. It's that you have all these owners that have these, have 2-3% mortgages. And they're like, well, I'm not going to sell my house because my payment's so cheap. Now they become accidental landlords, and they're like, well, I'm not going to sell because I can rent it and make money. You know what I mean? So it's killing the supply there. Also, BlackRock and these other big firms are just buying up fucking houses in droves. So
Yeah, but they're
swallowing up the
not buying your neighbor's house. They're buying
No,
communities.
yeah,
man.
they're buying
That's such a
communities.
misconception.
Yeah. No, they're on the
Right.
Midwest buying 500-unit apartment complexes.
Yeah,
or townhouses
or
or row houses
townhouses
and stuff
or row
like that.
houses, right?
Like
You know what I
cities,
mean?
they're buying.
Exactly.
Yeah, little
City
cities.
blocks and
And,
stuff.
and
So
they're not the one doing it. It's a bunch of operators out of Penn, Harvard,
Yeah.
shit like this, who has never exited, by the way.
Yeah.
That are buying up these things, right?
Yeah.
So they just have the arm reach of their investment fund in real estate, and they say, hey, we could deploy this amount of capital.
Yeah.
Who's the best operator could come out to?
and they're all fucking shit
But,
operators.
but most of these times, these guys are going to lose too, right? They're
Oh, yeah.
just banking on the money they're making on acquisition fee, capital management fee, and every other fee that they could have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like robbing people blind. But, we all know what the deal is, right? I feel like here, everyone, I don't know about Carmelo, but everyone has the struggle of not having money and have to build the money,
Oh,
right?
no, I had no money.
I know.
I was a school teacher, man. You see my
Yeah,
$38,000 a
yeah,
year salary,
messing with you.
motherfucker? I was making $945 every 2 weeks, man. I'm like,
But
shit.
what I'm saying is we analyze deals different than they analyze deals, right? Like our risk tolerance is not as high because we're using our own money at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
So when we're looking at these deals and these brokers are sending these crazy deals to us and we're like, yeah, your future performer is going to be this.
Yeah,
So, you know, we're not going to sell you as is value. We're going to pad in a little bit of that buffer. So we got to force you to bridge to afford this loan and be creative with solutions like put garbage collection service for $25
Yeah.
per door.
It's all bullshit.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
all the fees for you
Parking fees.
to right,
parking,
you know,
yeah.
for you to make
Sure.
money when these things are soon going to be so normal, especially when they're billing out west.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Down south where you get the parking, you get this, you get
Yeah.
that for free. You got to do all these creative things just to hit that financial mark for it to make sense. That's why people losing their money.
Yeah.
Like nobody wants to really talk about it, but a lot of these fucking investors who's doing these syndicators and shit are not making money. Like I see people starting to come out crying now, like, yo, I'm losing $180,000 a month on this deal. People are walking away from their portfolio. Or some guys who are been in the game for 20 years, like, look, man, I just had to bring freaking $3 million on refi table to my deal because the numbers ain't make sense no more. You get what I'm saying? And that's the way it is. They don't ever go off these freaking brokers' performers. None of this shit makes sense, bro.
I just go with rents and that's it.
None of
I
that
don't
shit
care about
makes sense.
laundry income, fucking vending machines, all the other bullshit you
Right.
try to pad in. Get the
Like,
fuck out of
what
here.
the fuck is that? You
No
know what I mean?
management, 0% vacancy.
Right.
Yeah, okay,
No
good luck.
debt service. You sending me something
Advertising, no legal fees. Yeah,
Right.
like I'm never gonna evict anybody. Come on, this is bullshit. You know what I mean?
So I got a follow-up question.
So real estate kind of sucks, right?
Okay, kind of sucks. So what's another way, whoever's watching this and wants to get in the game, what can they be doing to actually make money if it's not finding deals?
Right now, I do like Warren Buffett does, cash up.
Right.
Cash out?
Cash up
I mean,
right
there's still deals out there. Let's not say there's not deals out there.
Yeah, right.
Rarely.
Yeah, you just have to work now.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? That last period of everything going up within the last 4 years where everyone was getting
Yeah,
rich,
everybody
that is
was making
over.
money. Even the
Yeah.
brokers, they were making money like crazy.
Like, you ain't even had to analyze a deal correctly
Yeah,
because
blow
by
my
the
money
time you
like crazy.
exit, the
Exactly.
market is in your favor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is over right now.
Yeah.
Right now, you actually have to work to make the deal work. And, you know, we all got to be creative. We lend our money, you know what I mean? We sit down, we have like little other businesses we do just to make sure we pass along. And one thing I know Mel has been doing and I've been doing is raising rent like a motherfucker, right?
Yeah.
Because that's another way to make money too. But the goal is
Focus on what you have.
Right. Focus on what you have. But the goal is to really exit out all of these comp-based assets that we are and roll the money over, right? Like I gave somebody a perfect example. I'm like, all right, we're in real estate, right? And I was talking about this morning. All right, where the camera at? Because I feel like I'm looking down. We're in real estate right now, and we're in real estate. So the last,
Talk to the camera.
right? So for the last like 4 or 5 years, we're making money, our equity in going up, right? Now, if you really look at how far you came and what equity do you have, are you making 10% return on your equity year over year, every year consistently, right? And that should be the goal. The goal should be right now is figuring out how to recapitalize the position you in, exit out those, and get into a position where you're making 10% on the equity that you have built within the last 4 years, exit out of the comp-based model, and wait till that shit crashes. Buy that shit back later, as Mel said, right? Because we know it's gonna come down. I mean, evictions is going up, you know what I mean? It's starting to happen. People ain't paying rent, so all of these mom and pops are way behind. I mean, the moratorium for foreclosures is there now. Like foreclosures is back on, and New Jersey is what we have 17% year over year on
think so,
on
Jersey's up a lot. Mortgage payments.
mortgage payments.
Hell yeah, love it.
And then one thing, and this is how you know the market's going to
Nobody pay
crash.
your
Let me
mortgage if
give
you're
you an
watching.
example how you know the market's going to crash. So you in West Orange, right? You buy a house in West Orange, we're flip, buy a house for $300,000. House looks great, right? Property tax is only $11,000 a year. Flipper go in,
You're lying.
you know what I mean? Right.
Yeah,
Flipper
11,000
go
is
in,
nice.
renovate the house, whatnot, make it look nice, sell it to you, $700,000. Yeah, $11,000 on the property tax. Boom. Reassessment year comes. That shit's 25 now.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying? And some cities move faster than some. East Orange, oh shit, he just bought that. Up it instantaneously. You know what I mean? Like instantaneously. Like some cities like that.
Water bills too in Jersey.
Right, and then motherfuckers were like, holy shit, what the fuck happened? I thought I could afford this. Yeah, you got suckered.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You got suckered. Now you're gonna have to foreclose on that shit, and then somebody else gonna buy it at a better price point. And that's a lot of what's happening now, and people don't want to talk about that.
I got
You
a
know what I
question. Piggy, exactly what you're talking about. So in Elizabeth, right?
Right.
There's, I'm not sure how, well, you're in Elizabeth, but I'm not sure last time you guys visited, on every corner, they're knocking down those old Cape houses,
Right.
and they're putting $850,000 on
Right.
two unit. Are these builders making money with the cost of labor, especially right now?
Yeah, you know
There's-
what?
There's got to be a super
let me-
skinny deal,
You're
right?
not spending
it's
under
just-
$200 a square foot to put anything cheap up nowadays.
Yeah,
Like that much.
it depends. Yeah, I mean,
And
no
they're
way.
buying, and these things aren't selling. The knockdowns aren't selling for less than
Yeah,
$250
yeah.
if you're lucky.
I flip larger homes. I've done stuff in Ridgewood over $1.5 million. I've done stuff in Paramus, and I made less money on those than I did like a 3-bedroom Cape in lipstick on the pig deal.
Yeah,
because
but-
I got much bigger carrying costs. I'm borrowing $1 million at 14%. 6 months goes by, 9 months. Goes by before you're done doing construction. Then the house is going to sit in the market because your pool of buyers isn't 90%. You probably got like 2% of the pool of buyers can afford $1.2 million house or $1.5 million house. So you're minimizing that buyer pool, who that is. So now you wait 3-4 more months to close, find a buyer. So you're carrying that thing for like a year and a half. So most of your profit goes to the hard money lenders or whatever they
Yeah.
private money lenders.
It depends too.
So, yeah.
Some of these contractors out there who actually are contractors, not sit on the couch and just give people work. They're still billing for $100 a square foot, right? And they will make that profit. You know what I mean? I mean, it might not be a big profit, as he said, because you got to put all the equation in there, and people don't do that, right? The holding cost, the tax.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, shit. Sometimes people like, holy crap! I didn't realize moving dirt was that expensive.
Yeah,
you get what I'm
exactly.
saying? So once you put all of that in there, they might clear 6 figures. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They might clear.
Yeah, but you got like a $1.5 million house and 5% commission.
Yeah.
Well, there's already fucking
Right.
50 grand. You know what I mean? So you
but
got to count all that
a newer
stuff.
house
If
sells
you're listing it
faster.
yourself.
Oh, if you list it yourself,
A
you
new-
still got to put it into the cost, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the
Yeah.
day, because
though. A newer house sell much faster than the old house, right? Everybody likes new. So that could be their market mentality as well. Like, hey, look, this house is nice and new. It's not renovated. Let me get it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
People
but also
working
it
on
also really
volume.
it also depends on the builder too.
Right.
Like sometimes if they're starting to go slow, like they're they have to pay their crew. They're not just going to lose their crew.
Right.
So sometimes they'll buy a house,
get
make
working.
a slimmer,
yeah,
margin.
I do that because I got
just-
guys to keep busy.
Yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
mean? So
Yeah,
I call guys. You guys need anybody? Let's go.
But on that point,
Yeah.
what I see coming back is carpet flooring.
No
Laminate
way.
countertops.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Okay, yo,
I think those will come back,
that's
bro.
a stretch. That is a
Yo,
stretch.
those things
From the
have
builders,
to
who
come
knows,
back.
yeah.
No, that's the point, bro. Yo,
I don't
they're
think so.
spec
I
builders.
don't think so.
There's spec builders doing that in the South now. How do you think
Yeah,
they're
in
making
South.
money?
Oh,
They can
okay,
get
the
that
South.
way
South,
down
Yeah,
there,
South,
bro.
they never got away from that.
Yeah, but
Outside.
that's going to eventually have to come back here if the
No,
labor keep increasing.
No.
No, because there's more
Okay.
labor in doing a laminate countertop than there is granite countertop, believe it or not. That's why
Yeah,
nobody does it.
Man.
That's what I'm telling you.
Carpet? Yeah, I can see that coming back.
Yeah, carpet, yes,
I like nice,
there's a chance.
cozy carpet on my toes.
Gotta get in the back.
Carpets in the bathroom again coming back.
But here's the thing, most builders and contractors, they don't even price their jobs right most of the time. They-
That was my point to my question.
yeah,
like,
so most of these guys don't even price it right, and they're losing money actually, because a lot of them don't account for their overhead. Most of them don't even know what overhead means.
Or taxes.
Yeah.
Well, that's a different thing, because you don't know how much your taxes are, right, until you go see your accountant. You're like, oh shit,
Yeah.
my taxes.
That's why
But
you
a lot of
understand.
guys, they don't even understand what job cost of goods sold for a job versus what an overhead is, right? So cost of goods sold on a job is the actual labor and material directly for this job only. So for example, your truck is not a cost of goods sold, right? Unless you only use it for that one job and you get rid of the truck. But generally, overhead is for all your, let's say truck for example, right? That's only for, well actually that's for all the jobs.
Yeah.
So now you got to figure out how many jobs am I going to have this year, and then divide that by the amount of jobs.
Yeah, the way I
Most
do it
guys
is
don't
like
know
what
how
my
to do
costs are for my insurance, my trucks, and all that stuff. I divide it by 12, and then whatever jobs I sign up that month, I kind of just pack it in there. Like, okay, here's an extra, $4,000 miscellaneous for costs for overhead and stuff like that, and insurance.
So, so let me ask you this. Let's say there's a developer watching right now and undermines overheads, costs. What would you say are the top 5 that they need to keep in mind when they're building in terms of overhead? What should they be mindful of?
Well, this is probably a brand new developer, so usually the more sophisticated, larger developers, they're not going to miss these numbers. These are like the new rookie guys or guys that are kind of getting into their first or second deal,
Right.
and they don't understand that.
Which is pretty much the audience that are in here.
Yeah.
So if it was them, what would you tell them? What would be these overhead costs? They should be mindful of?
Well, overhead is anything, like I said, is anything that's not attributed directly to the job. So let's say you have an office, right? That's your overhead. So
Okay.
whether you do a job or not, you got to pay for your office.
Okay, so office one.
Right? Office. Let's say your admin staff.
Okay.
Okay, like if you have a secretary, if you have like a sales rep or anything like that.
Okay.
Right? Or a project, not so much a project manager directly to that job, but like a general project manager.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big one. Staff is huge, right, as far as cost goes.
Okay.
Okay. And then insurance, right? Insurance is another huge one. Like workman's comp, for example, that kills you. Workman's comp. It's completely different. Let's say office workman's comp compared to someone who's on the job site. Let's say a roofer, right? They're gonna pay a huge amount of percentage-wise versus office. So office, a person that works in an office workman comp-wise, like I don't know, like 1% or something like that, versus a roofer is like 35%. I don't know. That's not the real number, but I'm just giving you an
So we
idea.
have office, staff, insurance,
Yeah.
overhead costs.
Right.
What else? You got any other?
Cars, vehicles.
Yeah, your vehicles.
The vehicles, like the loan, whatever, if you have one, taken out on them. The insurance on the car as well, obviously.
Right. Yeah. So I'm kind of lumping in all the insurance. Liability insurance, right? So if you're a bigger builder, you want to have umbrella insurance also.
Right.
So those things definitely.
Reserves. Having reserves.
Yeah, you want to have some reserves, of course,
Taxes.
because taxes are huge, right? But also reserves. If you have these jobs, and especially if you're doing more like commercial jobs, you're 30-day net. So they don't pay you until 30 days after the job is done. So it's not like these small residential contractors are like, man, I ain't gonna do the job unless I get like down payment of half.
Right.
Yeah, in a commercial, you're not getting shit. I mean, you will, but not 50%, because, these are more sophisticated, people that are looking to hire you, right? And so they understand the contracts. And the thing is, they're gonna write the contract. So whoever writes the contract has the power, because now you gotta follow my rules versus me following the contractor rules in residential. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, those are great things for people to keep in mind for overhead costs.
Yeah.
It's money in your pocket, so.
People think real estate is all just like, okay.
HGTV.
Yeah, HGTV, like they show those like above board numbers. Yeah, we're gonna be making $100,000 on this house, not including any of the holding costs, anything.
Nothing.
Nothing, right?
That's,
It's like,
I
gross
haven't
income.
seen that ever
Yeah.
in any of
I'm
those
gonna
shows.
save money by doing all the work
holding
myself.
costs.
Yeah.
But it cost me $0 to take the car, drive it to Home Depot, right?
Yeah.
It cost me $0 to go and buy lunch, So it's
It's like I went from breeding salamanders to flipping houses.
yeah.
That's
Well,
it.
I make we have a budget of 3.2 million,
Yeah.
but I'm a Facebook admin.
Okay. That's why it's going to crash the market.
Yeah.
Yeah, last I was watching I think I saw something yesterday on Instagram. It was pretty interesting. So I guess he kind of spec'd out like the 01 crash tech bubble.
Mm-hmm.
It had like a 300% increase, then it came down 150, went back up 300, and just fucking doubled the loss. And then the 08 and 07, the same thing. I was like, oh, now we're back at the peak of this bubble. So now I was like, all right, here we go. Let's ride this on the way down, man. You know what I mean? So
I think,
I hope he's right.
I think AI is going to be the next bubble.
AI. I think AI's got a way to go.
I mean,
all these AI stocks just popping up.
well,
I don't
yeah.
even know. I'm just hearing so
Well, no,
much
so
about
like,
it.
well, I mean,
AI
it's
stocks already?
so well, yeah. So it's kind of like what do you call it? Just like the Google, winning at the end. A lot of these AI tools are being set up right now, and it's just the only ones that are actually going to be like alive in the next couple of years are the ones that actually are functional and the ones that actually are talked about enough and that makes sense to people.
You know what I think gonna crash the market? Let's keep it for real. Let's go back to let's go back to what really gonna crash the market.
Fed.
Them
That's what's gonna crash the market.
altcoins. Them altcoins. All them altcoins, altcoins, however you want to say, that's going to crash the market. The shit coins, these crypto coins, all these, non-regulated ICOs is going to crash the market once they said, all right, we tired of this shit. Regulations. Once they say that, regulations, boom.
Well, that's what they're trying
No,
to
but
do.
that just happened last week.
They ain't fully regulate everything yet, man. People are still popping shit up.
But listen,
I mean,
Yeah, but people are
I'm
getting
gonna start
sued for
milk
things that
real
they've
soon.
done like that. Like, there's a lot of those like pump and dumps. A lot of those guys who actually like set up the coin said that, oh, this is gonna go to the moon, like, and then they pumped it, and then they just left all their people holding the bag. They're all getting like fucking. They're all going to prison.
yeah,
And
but
shit.
there's more. There's more gonna come under it. You know how you got to go through that
There you go.
rigorous task, or filing with the SEC before you can do an IPO. You gotta show an evaluation, all of that shit. Just
But
making
that
sure
thing
it's
is
all
all
there.
bullshit.
All of that's going to have to happen with these ICOs too. You get what I'm saying? Like none of them make sense.
But wasn't there a deli that went IPO?
Oh, the one in Jersey.
I think it's like,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
have
went to
evaluation
jail.
80.
Oh
Who the
my
fuck
God.
checked them mortadella
Did he
over
go
there?
to jail? 'Cause I think they were in
What kind of
China,
salami
right?
they got? Fucking
They
coming
went
out
to
of that
jail.
fucking-
They caught up to
Oh
him.
my God! I
So,
mean, that was
what kind of
brilliant, by the
regulation
way.
that thing even had? That was
brilliant.
bullshit.
That was brilliant.
You know?
That-
So I was like, who's watching these? No one's watching these IPOs. People just handing the paperwork.
Yeah, but that was done a while ago, right?
Yeah, that was a few years ago.
No, when did they file though? But when did they file? But when
I
did
don't
they
know. I have
file?
no clue.
Because I feel like
What
you can't just file like that.
That's what I mean.
I don't even understand
How
what
they
they
get
were
away
doing.
with that?
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
they were brilliant, man. They were brilliant. I thought that was brilliant. I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
My two families make more than that shit. You
Yeah,
know
I
what
was
I mean?
like, seriously, man. I'm like, damn, Italians can't do shit fucking legal.
Yeah.
I'm like, unbelievable.
I heard you.
Fuck, man.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I'm like, unbelievable.
Oh
I was
my
like, there's
God.
some great sandwiches coming out of there with a $55 billion
Oh
valuation.
my God.
That's better than
No, I
Subway's,
think it was
Quiznos.
I think it was like what, 200 million or something like
Oh,
that in
yeah, that was
valuation.
crazy. That's nuts.
Yeah, it was.
But anyway,
crazy.
that was crazy. But again, that goes just to go back to show that nobody regulates this shit. Even if they tell you it's regulated, it's not fucking
New
regulated.
Jersey
You know what I
deli.
mean?
I gotta look
So-
that up. New Jersey
Don't go to the
deli.
news.
But I think just going back to what's going to happen with the market also, I think the biggest thing is also banks.
It was 100 million,
100.
and they only did 35,000 in sales.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Oh my God.
But when did they file? I'm telling you, man.
That's some
I
Common
mean,
Core math right there.
They're brilliant. But when did they file? That's the
Yeah.
thing. I feel like it had to be a while ago.
Yeah, who knows?
You know what I mean? Now, when did they file for this? I mean, you should
Like
be
a
able to
penny
bring
stock,
that.
If you
right?
find their ticker and go like all life, you see where they
Yeah,
start
I'm
trading.
trying to see.
Wait, what are you trying to say?
What's the
I'm
ticker,
sorry,
salami?
go on.
The New Jersey deli that in Plainsboro. I want to
Yeah.
see when they filed, when they actually went to the market, right?
What's a ticker symbol, Stugats?
Oh my gosh. I think it's HWIN. HWIN.
W?
HWIN.
HWIN.
I mean, the day here of the news, April 15, 2021. So
Yeah.
it's around that date.
No,
So
but
they
when did they
file on
file? When did they
It
file?
had, to be,
Because
it had to be around the same.
no, because 2020 they was
Oh,
around.
they were around?
Yeah, they were around in 2020. They were around for a while, man. That's what I'm
But
saying.
this is the deli.
nuts.
This is the deli you're talking about.
Yeah, that's the deli.
That's
That
great.
is the deli.
Fucking idiots.
Crazy.
I know. Oh my gosh. I mean, however they got this done, I want to know, man.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, I forget what stock it was, but because people were stupid and forgot the ticker, it was like some company.
Oh, it's like a little bit off than the real.
Yeah, just off than the real ticker,
Yeah, yeah.
and all of a sudden it just like skyrocketed.
Yeah. That's
Uh,
crazy.
But that's just because people are very unobservant,
HWIN.
just as a general.
Yeah.
Well, I think when had the whole COVID thing, everyone's jumping into stocks. So
Yeah.
everyone's like, yeah.
Well, I mean, when you just randomly get a $1,200 check and you're not paying rent, you
Yeah,
don't give
yeah.
a fuck about anything.
Like, okay, I
Like,
put
what
my
am I
Robinhood
gonna do?
account, see what happens. You know?
Yeah.
Those $1,200 is costing people a hell of a lot more money now. So
Oh my
Oh,
there you
yeah.
go, baby, inflation. But then
No,
again,
but we don't want no inflation, by the way. Remember that.
Oh, no,
we
no.
don't want
That
inflation.
is-
Yeah,
it's
we don't do
inflation.
inflation.
No, so for the
Except for my
landlords,
waist. I don't like my waist inflating.
I want that
landlords
to be
love
free.
inflation because the value of your property is gonna go up.
Rents go
It's
up.
not that the value of the well, now the value of the property go up, but the value of dollar is supposed to go down, so the note seems like it's lower because the value of the property go up. You get what I'm saying? That's what it's supposed to be. So your debt obligation is much smaller long term,
Yeah,
right?
of course.
Right, because money lost the value. Right, but now we're in an unprecedented time where the value actually shot up.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? But did it shoot up? Because if you sell that crap, you ain't gonna be able to buy nothing else.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So it's like everybody like, oh my gosh, my house just went up. I got like 300,000 in equity. Cool. But did you buy two?
Yeah.
Did you buy two of the house? Because then the only way you could win is if you bought two and then you use the one to pay off the next one. Other than that, you're just gonna buy something else that's high
Yeah.
with that equity. So you're not winning. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you're not
When
winning.
I moved to Miami, when I sold my house, I was to see how much I'm crying.
Right,
About food.
exactly. First of all,
The Miami market's crazy,
market
too.
needs to make
Yeah,
it crash.
that was in
That-
It's been- bro, I've been looking at
You-
Miami
you ain't-
since like 2012,
It,
man.
yeah,
Oh
it's-
no,
The
I'm still
numbers in
kicking
my
crazy.
I
myself.
wish I
down
bought
there.
back then.
Oh,
Oh no, I'm still
I
kicking
saw a
myself because in
two
2020.
a two-unit
Too.
condo for 425. Like, whoa, this is high.
Bro,
I should have bought it.
In,
Hell no,
in
I'm-
09, 010, I looked at my mom. I was like, look, because that was anybody retirement person. I'm in this brand new apartment complex by myself on the water. So they're selling for 20 grand. I'm like to my mom, you need to buy that. Nah, you need to buy that. I mean, I was broke back
This is
then.
Miami.
She's like, no,
Miami.
son, I'm staying right
Nah.
next to you.
08, 07?
No, yeah, she decided to stay in West Orange in that crappy house, right? Either way, those condos are worth well over $1 million
Oh, yeah,
now.
they long.
But at one point, they were buildings that were just being built
Yeah.
that were empty. And Miami's going to be the same way again. Keep in mind that Miami, medium income is so low compared to the value that market is going to crash first. If people better
It's all
understand
overseas
that.
money, though.
Right.
Spaniards, Mexicans.
So it
A
was
lot of-
overseas,
that's owning
and it
over
was
there.
a lot of companies that were allowing people to hotel in these condos, Airbnbs, things like that, or rent, right? Long-term rental. But most of those buildings are becoming vacant again, but nobody wants to talk about that. A lot of those places are becoming vacant again. That market is going to crash. It needs to. I mean, what the fuck is in Miami? You know what I mean? Companies are finally trying to move there.
A lot moved
but
down
they're
there.
yeah,
A lot
but they're
moved down.
but they're moving small like parts,
Satellite
offices down
offices,
there, right?
yeah, yeah.
They're not
Satellite
moving
offices.
their main
Some-
hubs.
it ain't
San
like
there.
Francisco's about to
07,
become a
08
desert
was-
land. Westfield Mall just shut down in San
Oh yeah,
Francisco.
because
Oh,
they
yeah,
all
yeah.
going to
Yes.
Austin.
Yeah.
That's huge.
They all going to
07, 08
That's a lot
Miami,
of real
they
estate.
built like crazy. Now, but there was nothing down there back then. Now there are a lot of more companies that moved down there, but even like West Palm Beach,
The mayor is
like Wall
incentivizing
Street.
them to
Yeah.
move to Miami.
What's
a lot. The mayor of Miami is incentivizing them.
No, they not.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of incentives.
Oh, and let me ask you this. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Carl. So it just came to my mind. What else is he doing to incentivize people to go into Miami?
Same crap they're doing in New York.
What?
I guess it's
What?
dollar
What?
homes.
You
What?
can do whatever.
Dollar homes.
Dollar homes. I wish I found a dollar for a home.
Did you see that? My wife just showed me that list. That there's a
In Newark.
Yeah.
they're selling
Newark,
houses
right?
for $1.
They
Newark,
do
if
that
you live
every
there
year.
for 5
Yeah,
years.
They do it every year.
Every
They
year.
do it every year.
But
The
you
only
know
thing
what
is-
you got to do to get to.
Oh, I can just imagine.
Let me tell you what it is.
You got to be under
Yeah.
the mayor's desk.
You know what they're
Well,
You know what they're hosting in Miami every
Bitcoin.
year?
Oh yeah.
Bitcoin conference is hosted in Miami. So he's trying to bring a lot of people from the Bitcoin world into Miami to make it like a blockchain tech
Yeah.
hub. So
Yeah, like
You know, that's
tech
something.
hub.
it goes back to like what we were talking about.
Can't
Bitcoin.
wait to
That's
go
why
to
I brought it
strip
up.
club.
You know, it just came to my
Bitcoin
mind.
this.
Oh no, like crazy.
Well, the
enough,
thing
I got a buddy of mine who in the city he started hosting these huge ass events every month on Bitcoin, and like they're obviously I don't know what he does in Bitcoin or anything, but
Maybe he mines.
Yeah. I'm
You
pretty
you
sure.
know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna start talking about something that no one will understand, that nobody understand what it is, and I bet a lot of people gonna come here and say I'm smart
Yeah.
because nobody understands it. This is
We all
on,
know you're
you know what I mean? Nobody understands it. I really want somebody to explain to me how Bitcoin is going to take over dollar.
It's not the Bitcoin.
It's
Again,
not
it's not
gonna
the
take over.
Bitcoin. It's just like the technology behind it.
They
and the blockchain.
they like the
Yeah.
idea of it, but it ain't real. It ain't real. You know what I mean?
Well, it
I mean
is
if you
real.
think about it, like the
It's what-
value of the dollar is technically
bullshit too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it is.
Straight up.
It is.
Gazy.
Yo, let me give you this piece of paper
You know what it's called?
that is supposed to
It's
hold
called
value.
Intrinsic value.
Yeah.
Intrinsic, yes.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Exactly that. So,
It's for Gazy, for guys. There's a bunch
Yeah,
of
it's all
mystery.
good. It's all
yeah, you know what? We gotta have this
Wolf on Wall
conversation
Street.
again in 5 years.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's see what's gonna
how
happen.
it
What's up with Jake Paul, by the way? Because he made enough money off his altcoin to move to Puerto Rico. So how did that work, right?
Jake Paul has a whole
Yeah, they did. They had an altcoin, right? They
Yeah,
had
well,
a
you know,
coin they were
he was
backing.
he was getting sued for that too.
Was he really?
Yeah, because like the value wasn't holding, and then he backtracked on what he promised was going to be part of the altcoin,
Yeah, inside.
and then overall, like long story short,
downstairs.
it was supposed to be some sort of game too, or some shit, like kind of like Pokemon in a sense, but with the coin as like some sort of value to like, you know, like train them up, and then you make money, you know, you could make altcoins from it.
All right.
But then he kind of said, you know what, I'm not going to do it because of everything crashing. But then because of that, he started getting sued, and then now he's like, okay, I'm going to do it.
Well, he said he's getting
As a
sued
backtrack.
for TRX and BTT because he was getting paid to promote it too.
Well, I
his
mean, he's
coin
getting sued for several
itself,
things.
right.
So.
I ain't more money, more problems, right?
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys this:
Yeah,
What
I'm
did
sitting
Bernie
over there.
Madoff get sued for?
Bernie Madoff?
Yeah.
wire fraud probably.
Nah, he was Fonzie.
He was sued for everything.
Yeah.
Everyone is talking about Bitcoin.
Oh my God, it feels so much colder.
You see what I'm saying? He was sued for everything. Everyone talks about Bitcoin in the crypto world, and I get it. There's a lot of projects that are shit, and they are.
Yeah.
But stick with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is king. And when it comes to this blockchain technologies and or investment opportunities. But Bernie Madoff, you know,
Yeah.
big Ponzi scheme.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know.
And that
So-
guy was under everyone's nose.
Yeah, and he was right. I think he was gonna run the SEC at one point.
No, he did.
He did?
He did. He was part of it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Imagine.
he was I think he was the chairman of SEC or something like
Imagine.
Was
This
he really?
conflict of interest?
that. Yeah, he was a big shot at the SEC.
Conflict of interest. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's ridiculous.
Well, the thing was, his story was that he never registered to be a registered rep, right? That's what it used to be called. So I had a license before. It used to be called registered rep. Now it's called Registered Investment Advisor, RIA. So it's, you know, so back then, that's kind of what he was doing. But so I watched the documentary about him, you know, and he was doing this for like 40 years or something like that. It's
He
insane.
was the chairman of NASDAQ.
Oh,
NASDAQ.
NASDAQ.
Yeah,
there you
not
go.
SEC.
Sorry,
I'm
not
like,
SEC.
damn,
My bad.
that's government. Hey, but
Yeah.
hey, yeah.
No, but he was gonna do something with the SEC. I don't know what it is.
So-
but-
Right.
I mean, he
But
knew
imagine
them
NASDAq.
He knew them so
Yeah,
much.
because he was
you know what I
trusted
mean?
because of
Yeah.
his
I think.
position.
Wait, matter of fact, I think he built the framework for the SEC when it comes to evaluating securities or something
Oh, really?
like that. Yeah, I gotta
Yeah,
look into it. But long story short, you see all these schemes happening in crypto,
Yeah.
dollar, whatever, the
Everywhere.
yuan, anything, you name it, anything. So,
Anything, yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
you know,
There's always a few
all
bad
I would
apples
tell
out
people
there.
is
you know?
keep an open mindset and
Yeah.
no. Same thing as real estate. You guys are saying, oh, interest rates is high, so we're not really buying, etc., etc. Look at the market the same way.
Yeah.
Is really the time to buy? Does it make sense for me? What's my risk tolerance like?
Yeah.
Then decide
It's
about it.
always a good reason to buy, man. Like everyone always say, should I buy? I'm like, yeah, sure. How long you decide to be in it, right? Depends on your exit strategy. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
That's
Exactly.
yeah.
Like buy and refinance later. You get what I'm
Also
saying?
depends on
If
your risk
their interest rate go
tolerance.
down, right? I mean, you can't wait because nobody knows what the market's going to say. I mean, we might be here saying the market's going to crash, but it might not. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It might not. I mean,
I don't think it's in a crash because what happened. You know, the only
Wow,
reason
that's a first, ladies and gentlemen.
I know.
Like 15 years.
That's crazy. Come
Yeah.
think about it.
Crash.
Wow.
Every other
Every
post
day
is
on
like,
Facebook.
every other post is like, hey, it's gonna crash, it's gonna
There's
crash.
gonna,
it's
cause
gonna
the
Oh,
thing is, like,
man.
you look at 07, you look at the tech bubble and all that stuff. You know, the money was gone. There was nothing in the, you know, they printed trillions of dollars the past 2 years.
Yeah, but what crashed the market in 08, right? Was it the 100% loans, the 110% loans they have in the, you know what I mean?
What crashed the
That-
market
that
was the
bad
banks
debts
stopped
and all of
lending.
that, right?
It was the lack of regulation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Again, like-
it was every mortgage broke out here like, oh shit, you got
Yeah.
a pulse? All right, cool. I'll falsify your documentation and get
Yeah.
you a mortgage, you know?
Yeah,
My
exactly.
mom bought her house making $7 an hour, to be
Yeah, but
honest.
what-
You know what I mean? She shouldn't have qualified. You get what I'm saying? The only good thing is she wasn't stupid enough to take out HELOCs like everybody else is.
Well, the thing is,
because everybody had a house and a new car, right?
And if they kept that going from 08 till now, what would happen?
And the boat.
They're still lending. They wouldn't have ever crashed the market because they're lending money. So what happened? The bank stopped lending money, it tightened up, and that's what caused the crash. And they had to print money because they're like, oh shit, we fucked up.
So it's a trickle down, right? Interest rates goes up. You know what I mean? Companies look at their R&D, they start scaling back, they start firing people, you get what I'm saying? No one's hiring because they have a job freeze. It's all a trickle down, right? It all starts with interest rate, right? I mean, back then, the loan interest rates was high as hell too. Keep in mind, right? Mom bought her house in like 2.4, it's like 8%. I mean, even in Jamaica, her first house was like 15%, right? Yeah. Like, you know, third world country.
Yeah, it still is over there. What are you talking about?
Right, and that's what you have to do to keep up with inflation. You got to have high interest rates. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right. So I got a question. Let's say John Smith, a typical guy, wants to buy a house right now. What would you guys advise them?
Send them to me first.
Go buy a 3-4 family house and live in one and rent the others. That's what I tell everybody.
Yep.
In what state? So you're not finding a 3 or 4 unit in New Jersey.
Ah, you'll find it here. Just paying a lot of money.
Yeah.
Okay, so go.
And then raise the rents.
That's what I tell people.
So you would actually, you know, advise them or just tell them that they can get a house, but it has to be a 3 or 4 unit.
Yeah, because why? If you're gonna pay your bills, you know.
Not everybody.
Not everybody wants that.
Not everybody want a multi-family property, man. But so this is why people
they
lose
go broke
money.
if they want.
Advice like that shit is why people lose money.
Yeah,
You go in there. I mean, there's some people who made it, right? But you know, we keep in mind we're in the business of buying multifamily properties for failed landlords. If you're not having the landlord mentality and you go in and buy a property that you're over leveraged on, because banks are looking at you like, all right, you could afford this, but with a tenant you could afford this more, right? And then your tenant say, you know what, fuck that, I ain't paying. You fucked. You get what I'm saying?
Well,
they're still gonna get a single family house and get fucked, so it doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, but at least you could afford that on your own without taking in consideration somebody else's salary. You get what I'm saying?
Salary into account,
because
but
that's what banks do.
The bank tells you, hey, you got $800,000, so you spend $800,000.
Yeah, but that's what everybody wants because they want the granite countertop. They don't want the carpets in their
the same
bedroom.
with a single family
You
house
understand what I'm saying?
And they do the same thing with a single family.
understand?
That's the problem. Well, that's the same problem. So
Yeah, but
at the end of the day, if you don't have the financial mindset, right, or
if you don't want to be a
financial
landlord,
literacy,
don't be a landlord.
you're screwed no matter which way you look at it, right? So
I know people who was like, man, I lost 3 of my houses back in the days because every week
Oh,
my
yeah,
tenant
I
would
see.
give me like sob story. My mom died, my
Fuck
aunt,
that sob
and I
story.
felt guilty.
I
I'm
feel
like,
guilty for
but did
nobody.
the bank feel guilty for you for
Yeah,
giving a
exactly.
sob story to them?
yeah.
You
I showed
get
an
what
email
I'm
I got today. I got a sob story. Like, no, get the fuck out.
All right,
Not my problem.
So the answer is
My
get
tenant's
out.
just having heart surgery. I'm saying, cool, picking up the rent.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
get what I'm saying? Like, you have to.
Yeah,
you
you
have to be, you know, nobody, it's a business at the end of the day. You signed up for a contractual agreement. I had one tenant who came to me last week. He was like, Mr. Cox, I lost my job. I'm going to break the lease. I'm like, cool. I'm like, to me, I'm like, yes.
Yeah,
I'm going to
exactly.
get more rent. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then I called him today. Yo, not today. I called him earlier this week. I was like, all right, man, I'm going to have the realtor come through, take some pictures. We're about to list it. He was like, you know what? I changed my mind. I'm going to try to keep the place. I'm going to work Uber. I'm going to go around. Because the rental market is ridiculous.
What city?
West Orange. Rental market is ridiculous, and I'm not going to be able to find another place at this price point.
Like, no problem. Your rent just went
He
up.
was like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, to be honest, that's how it is out there. And I feel like any tenant who says, I'm gonna screw over this landlord, is gonna fuck himself.
Oh,
They're
yeah,
gonna
for
have
sure.
bad rental history, and they ain't gonna get an apartment at that price no more.
Yep,
Because the market is going.
Do you
up.
report? Do
Huh?
you report the rental history?
Oh yeah. So I report the rental history if they elect to it, right? But for me, when somebody missed payment,
It shows on court.
I'm filing them immediately. You get what I'm saying? Like back in the days, I used to file somebody because they changed the lock, and I'm like, you can't change the locks on your door because if there's an emergency, how do I get in? But now you just file them just to wait. You get what I'm saying? But they get scared. They're like, all right,
But now you can report it right to the credit bureaus, though.
can you?
You can.
There's ways of doing it.
ways of doing it to the credit
They use
bureaus.
it for
I never
credit
done it.
boosts now. Like
if you
they
follow-
want you to report their credit.
I did not know
The
that.
rental
Yeah,
You know
there's
what
a
I
way
mean?
to do it.
It's a way to boost credit up.
What I know,
So they'll charge you
yeah.
to take it off and boost your credit, probably.
Nah, they just, it's an extra fee to the rental, and then you just add it to boost it up.
So
It's like when you add your cell phone to the
So I use
credit.
Rent Ready, and it automatically does that. Rent Ready application.
Yeah.
So the tenants elect for that. But again, I don't know. I can report personally. Hey, they late for their rent. You get what I'm saying? And not every tenant elect that, because every tenant plan on being late for rent at least once or twice. You get what I'm saying? Like everybody is gonna be late for rent, because fuck you. You're a landlord.
Late
you get
fees
what
are
I'm
great.
saying?
Extra income.
I mean,
That's the way I look at
I
it.
love late fees, bro. I love
Yeah,
late
exactly.
fees. I had tenants who paid, 2 months ahead in late fees. You get what I'm saying? And it is what it is. You know, it's a part of the business. But it's the headache of chasing somebody I don't like. You know what I mean? It's not worth that late fee. I'd rather you pay on time than to give me late fee money. Because then I'm like, damn, now I gotta fight this curse and I gotta bring him to court. And I'm an asshole. I'm gonna put a civil lawsuit on you, and I'm gonna put a judgment against your name. So I have a spreadsheet of every social security number for all my tenants because I ain't playing. If you're late, I'm gonna put that judgment against you. You get what I'm saying? Even if I have a realtor, I'm like, yo, make sure you get their social security number,
And
not
driver's
only on the
license.
system, but get their social security number.
Get a
So
copy
when
of
I
it.
get my judgment, I know who to put it against. And a lot of smart landlords was doing that during COVID too. And they're Biden out here like, oh man, we got to give people their stimulus check and make your landlords not able to take it from them because they need it for food. Yeah, and they needed to pay rent too because we need it for food. You get what I'm saying? It's a contractual agreement. You get me? So you know, there's ways around it if you're honestly a landlord to really be aggressive. You get what I'm saying? Like you can't sit down and take the sob story because ain't nobody feeling sorry for me.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Nobody knows what I was doing.
All right, if
Yeah,
you're
I'm
a
sorry
Maurice
to get no jerk
tenant
chicken
watching
like I
this,
got.
make sure
Yeah, I
you
know,
know,
right?
pay on time.
Listen,
Don't get in trouble with the man right here.
Listen.
You're gonna get pops.
I warn people ahead of time, but I don't fucking play. You get what I'm saying? It is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, I listen to people calling me every second, man, my tenants wasn't paying all of COVID. Did you bring them to court? Nah.
No, like idiots.
That's why I lost my house. I really only made money when I sold it, luckily, because the market went up. I lost everything. I'm like, well, you ain't got the landlord mentality.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to have a mentality for business. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can't be too nice all the time.
You can't be too nice. You know what I mean? Like
Never nice.
I pull up, bro. You know what I mean? Sometimes I feel like I'm lucky, but I will pull up and be like, my man's, where is my rent money? You understand? You have to. And I feel sorry for people who are not aggressive with it. And I feel
Usually when I
we
show up,
going,
like, man, this
going
motherfucker's
down
big.
to South Jersey, right?
Oh, shit, man.
I feel sorry for people who are not aggressive in collecting their rent. I feel sorry for the government for making it seem like you don't have to pay rent. Because this shit is horrible, man. You get what I'm saying?
The government pays my rent. Section 8 never late.
Hey, man. I want to be like that guy from what's that guy name? From North Carolina. Oh, you want to know how I pay for my $5 million yacht? With your money. Section 8 pays this amount, so it takes $20,000 to fill up my gas. You know, your money.
I saw
yeah,
that.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
You sent me that one. That was funny as fuck.
I'm like, okay, I gotta
like
pay a
it.
docking fee for $80,000 per month. Your money.
You know what FICA stands for in your paycheck?
What?
Fuck yeah. Not FICA. Fuck yeah.
You know what? As much as I like that guy, I think he's gonna get fucked for keep putting information out there a little bit too much. Because there's gonna be some sympathetic persons like, you know what, he's milking the system, taking advantage of it too much, and they're gonna find. Because there's a saying in Russia, right? You follow a man on the highway for 3 miles, he's doing something wrong, right? And everybody does something wrong, except for me, obviously. But you know, but if you keep putting your shit out there so people could actually look at you, man, that's just stupid, man. You get what I'm saying? Like, don't come on here every second. Like, to me, I'm an investor. I'm like, holy shit, that's great. I want all Section 8 tenants. But he's like, let me tell you how I paid for my Rolls Royce, you know what I mean? I'm choosing 3 Rolls Royce, my favorite color with your money. I'm like, come on,
The good thing
man.
about the Section 8, even if it does those HUD properties,
Right.
you get 1% mortgages on those.
Oh,
I didn't even
man.
know that until I started looking into commercial deals. So if you're if you buy a HUD property, I forgot what it's like LCT, whatever the fuck it's called. And it basically, it's like 60, I saw one in Illinois, in Chicago market, and it was all veterans, and it was like 65 units, and it came with a 1% mortgage. I was like, what the fuck is this shit? But you can't raise the rents.
Okay.
You know, so if market
Oh,
rent's
yeah.
like $1,200, they're paying $700.
You talk about the LHTC.
Yes,
something.
yeah.
I'm actually underwriting a
that's
property
crazy.
like that right now.
Yeah, I was
I
like,
mean, you
what?
can't
I didn't
raise
know that.
rents.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't raise rent. You're
Yeah.
right. You know what I mean? You got to go very aggressive. So if the market, if you turn over tenant, they have to pay what the existing tenant was paying.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool if you want to park cash there. You get what I'm saying? Let's
Yeah.
say you have, you know, again, go back to the initial conversation. You had the equity and you want to move it to make something
of
that
course,
makes
yeah.
more money. It makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You sell it to another investor in the future.
Mhm.
And of course, if you could keep finding a way to minimize your expenses while you're getting that small increment,
Yeah.
eventually it goes up. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, you know,
I was like, man, 1% mortgage. I was like,
Yeah,
man, that sounds like a
man.
great idea.
yeah. Yeah, low income
But I was
housing
like,
tax
then they could
credit.
get a Rolls Royce and a yacht. That sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah, I just ain't gonna put it on Facebook like
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
I worked hard for my money. Especially
That guy
fucking
was
with-
funny. I was like, this guy's a nigga spending all his money.
Yeah, how you gonna be, literally raping the government and then you just gonna laugh about it? You know what I mean?
The government allows it. It's all in their freaking. It's like those daycares for senior citizens. They're like code, Medicaid code B or whatever the hell it is. They're like, oh yeah, senior Part B or whatever. Yeah, senior citizens can stay here and the government pays for it out of Medicaid, Medicare. And they're like, and these guys just build these monster daycares for these senior citizens. It's like Section 8 for senior citizens. I'm like, this is great. I was like, unbelievable.
Yeah, everybody makes money off the government though, man. I mean, real estate make money off the government. Walmart, you know what I mean? They up their price between the 1st and the 5th because they know what money they're gonna get. You know what I mean? Everybody making money off the government. I mean, telephone companies, they got the emergency lines. That's why they still, trying to sell you the hard wires because the government pays for that. You get what I'm saying? It's like everybody making money off the government, and guess who gets screwed?
Inflation.
Working class. Working class is
That's why I
screwed,
told
man.
the middle finger in the middle class.
Working class, you know what I mean? Hey, man, stay on Section 8 so we could screw the middle class
Well,
a little
it's
bit
funny
more,
because I
you
had
know?
tenants like that. I had a tenant. She got evicted during COVID. She basically lost her job during COVID. I was like, listen, go talk to your caseworker. They're gonna up your portion.
Right.
She was like, no, I got too much pride. I want to show my kids I work, whatever. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you? I was like, just go. And she fell behind like $15,000. And I'm like, why the hell did you do that? She's like, she had too much pride to go back and talk to her caseworker.
You know what it is? I
And-
respect her to some point,
Yeah,
but at
exactly.
some point you need a levy. Like I was talking
Yeah.
to my friends about that earlier. I'm like, yo, once you get into the system, it is so hard to get off
out.
the system.
That's
What
just a
I
rig
realized,
to keep
They
you
want to
down.
keep you in.
they want to
Yeah.
keep you in. What I see is your mama in Section 8, the kids on Section 8. Their kids probably gonna be on Section 8. That the freaking probability of being on Section 8 because you're now into that mind
Oh,
frame
yeah,
of, yo, I got a sugar daddy, which is now the government,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
take care of me, is there. You get what I'm saying? It's really there. And I'm talking to one of my friends who was like, look, man, my tenant started making a little bit more money, so you know what? She quit her job. Because she didn't want to lose that.
Yeah, of course.
You get what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
She figured out a way to lose her job.
I was
so
a
she
teacher in
yeah.
Jersey City. I remember I had a student. She was a bright student. Her mother's like, what the fuck you studying for? You going on Section 8. That's what the mother told her kid. I'm like, what the fuck, man? I'm like, that's what they deal with.
$1 insurance, cell phones. I could actually afford steaks now, room and board now. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, it is what it is, man.
I should go on Section 8. I'm gonna apply.
Hey, man, look, go to Lakewood, New Jersey. That's what they
about
did,
to say.
right?
Yeah.
They're smart.
Well, those guys, none of those guys got busted. I didn't see those guys go to jail.
No, so they all got busted.
Never
None went to jail.
Yeah, exactly.
None went to jail, but my ass would have been like, oh
They're
shit,
like, the wife's on Section 8 with 4 kids. The husband cuts diamonds in the basement, makes $30 million a year.
I'm telling you.
I'm like, yeah, okay.
I guarantee you, if I say I'm gonna go on Section 8, I'm in jail.
Yeah.
Just the thought alone will put my black ass in jail. You get what
I've
I'm
been seeing
saying?
a lot more males going on Section 8 now in my apartments. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Go work, motherfucker.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
That's
I'm like, what the
okay
hell?
because I
And they work. That's the
I'd
best
rather
part.
a male on Section 8 because my mother always told me one thing, right? Don't rent to men, rent to women. Because there's always a man out there gonna pay her rent. But if you rent to a man, he gonna take care of some chick, pimp, simp off, and all sorts of
funny.
stuff.
That's good.
So my male tenants are the ones who give me hell. Versus my female tenants, sometimes it comes from random dudes I don't even know.
Oh, that's
Am I-
good.
you know what I
You gotta
mean?
call your sugar daddy and pay your rent.
I'm telling you, you know what I mean? So
That's a good one.
it is what it is, man. It's
Alright,
facts.
I'm gonna put no males apply for my apartments. No, I'm just joking. 'Cause,
Like,
So with that said, our time's up.
Sounds good, man.
Yeah, this was a
another week.
amazing episode. Thank you for being a gracious host, Maurice. That is
Here in Newark, downtown.
Downtown
Yeah.
Newark.
Newark, mega
No
mansion.
car garages.
Oh my
Yeah.
I
god.
just heard about 10 gunshots back here.
Yeah. We had to film it at a restaurant across the street.
All right, guys.
All
Peace.
Any Instagrams or any things you guys want to shout out?
Don't follow me because I only show
Sign
pictures
off.
of my kids. That's all I post.
Any cabinetry stores? I don't know. You guys want to shout out or
Yeah.
anything?
Good.
Go ahead.
Well, follow us at Kitchen Design Lab.
Yeah,
That's it.
you can't even
See from the back. See from the back.
Sponsor Kitchen Design Lab.
There you go.
Woo, sexy back.
Yeah.
You bring a sexy
And
back.
thank you. Well, thanks to all our guests and new friend
Sounds like fun.
Yeah.
That's how you know we're not fake gurus. We don't have nothing to sell.
Yeah, that's right. We got nothing to sell.
Yeah.
Nothing to sell,
You
you know.
know.
All
If you
right.
want,
give you
follow
the
me
advice.
back.
No
the real
upsell,
estate
no
John
upsell.
Boyle. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's it.
But anyway, we're gonna have it in the show notes, our contact information. So look out for that. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
We'll see you next week.
Take care.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Only one